Happy Self Love Sunday. I am Moe Sass, the host of Self Love Sundays with Sass. I am a certified life coach who loves to come every single Sunday and share and fellowship with all of you amazing, amazing people. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for those of you who continue to come back each week and support, just know that I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Well, listen, guys, I am on an all time high this morning, a little tired, but on an all time high because yesterday I had the most amazing opportunity to go speak to a group of women on the importance of creating and the benefits of vision. And it was so amazing, y'all. I had to share that. I'm like, listen, we're gonna start off with me giving you some great nuggets. But today I was like, I have to start off with celebrating the fact that, my obedience to God is opening up some amazing doors. And I want to share that because I really hope that when I come and share every week, that you look at me and say, you know what? I can go do that too. Because honestly, there's someone out there waiting to hear your voice. There's something that you can say to someone that can truly transform their lives. And before I got started in all this, I didn't believe that about myself either. But as I continued to say yes, as I continued to walk in my faith, as I continued to walk in my purpose, and I wrote my vision and made it plain, the doors that are opening, man, I'm telling you, I'm so humbled. I've been crying every single morning, and it's a beautiful thing because I'm crying tears of joy instead of tears of sadness. And I'm opening that up to somebody because I know that it's a rough time for people, but I need you to understand that everything is temporary. But if you have a vision for your life and you know the end destination, I'm telling you, you have nothing to worry about. Keep stepping out on faith. And they say all you need is the faith of a mustard seed. And if you want to know how big a mustard seed is, look that up, honey. Get that visual because it's not huge. It's not huge. And I really just wanted to start off with that because the other thing that I find that my people don't do is celebrate their wins. You have to celebrate your wins. You have to celebrate your wins. You can still remain humble and celebrate yourself. Take a moment and take it in. We just keep going to the next thing and the next thing and next thing and next thing, and then we wonder why we're not happy and why we're not satisfied in our lives. Take a moment, take a breath, and celebrate how far you've come. I'm not saying that we get to sit in stagnation, but I'm saying celebrate. Celebrate yourself. I celebrated myself last night and by going out to dinner with my girlfriend. But even this morning, I just was in here just like, glory be to God for everything that He's allowing in my life. But I actually want to talk to you about the exact thing, vision. I don't know how many of you know who Kanye West is, but if you don't know who he is, look Kanye West up. He was a music producer turned rapper turned mogul in the fashion industry. And let me say this up front for those people who love to critique. I'm not saying that I agree personally with some of the things that Kanye West is doing. However, I will tell you this. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch his documentary on Netflix, I suggest you do. And here is why. I watched this young African American kid come from inner city Chicago, and a lot of people think that Kanye came from money. He did not. His mother was an English teacher, and his father was actually a marriage counselor. Now, granted, they weren't piss poor, but they weren't rich either. So, and here's the other thing I like to say. His mother and father may have had some money, but he didn't have any. Somebody need to hear that today to tell y'all kids, because these kids swear, I don't know about your kids, but mine swear that my money is theirs. It's not yours. You have to go earn something, okay? But anyway, Kanye started out in Chicago, and he didn't have a lot of money. He was just making beats for people. He was making beats for other rappers in the industry. But behind the scenes, Kanye always said he wanted to be the number one rapper. And he was like making beats really for himself, but selling them because he knew he had to get a foot in the door. So the one thing that was really pivotal was he understood that in order to make it to the level that he wanted to the level, he had to leave Chicago, right? Because his environment didn't produce billionaire moguls, at least at that time. Okay, so I think this was back in 98, early 2000s. Okay, so he moves to New York and he tells a story about how he was piss poor. He didn't have, he was so broke that he was in the building, he said, with Little Kim, and somebody called and wanted to talk to him about beats, and he had to run because he couldn't afford a cab to go there. So as he got to New York, he thought, because he started to hit big because he produced Jay-Z's song H to the is O, V to the is A. That was my joint back in the day, y'all. And if you don't know who Jay-Z is, you might want to look him up because he's also another billionaire mogul. Okay, so he thought he was gonna make it big by doing that. And he thought this was gonna be his way into being a rapper. And it was so interesting watching the documentary as he tried to not only, get Dame Dash Rockefeller Records to listen to his music, but also other record labels, and they were like slamming the door in his face left and right. What I loved about that though is although they were slamming the doors and they were giving him no's, he didn't let that stop him. How many of you have let, because you have received one no, stop you from going after your dream, aka the vision you co-created with your higher source? He didn't and they were playing him out, y'all. Slamming the, like, he really looked foolish to somebody outside looking in. But he didn't allow the no's to stop him. So much so, he was running out of money, and it got to a point where he needed to go to LA to make beats for another rapper, because although Dame Dash eventually signed him, he shelved him. And what that means is just like, and personally, he thought, and I thought we're watching the documentary too, he did that just so he can keep Kanye making beats for his in-house rappers. But I didn't think at the time he really had plans to do anything with them. So he went to LA and he was supposed to be making beats for another rapper, ended up getting into a car accident where he nearly lost his life. And let me tell you something about this kid that was phenomenal. He's in the hospital, literally fighting for his life, jaw broken in a couple of places. But he said, but my dream, my vision is waiting on me. So instead of allowing that to get him down in the dumps and get depressed and stressed, he wrote Through the Wire. So literally, because he had to rap through the wire in his mouth, he sampled Shaka Khan's song Through the Wire. And if you don't know that, I'm going to tell y'all right now. I'm going to need y'all to look up Shaka Khan and Through the Wire, all right? Bad to the bone. But he used it. He leveraged that to write more music. I need you to think about that for a second. Because so many people in this world today, some type of tragedy will happen, and they'll let it in their entire world, in their dreams, and stop them fully in their tracks. But he was like, no, I'm going after this. And then he made Through the Wire, and the guy who was from the documentary, he decided with his own money to create a video behind it, got everybody to gather. I'm really going through this fast, but got everybody to gather to watch that video, and that was a turning point of everything in his life. And he took that and leveraged into now what Kanye is a billionaire. And again, I'm not talking about his what he did personal, but you gotta give respect where respect is due. This is a poor kid out of Chicago, now a billion. No, why? Because he had a vision. He didn't let his environment, he didn't let the people who was around him, he didn't let the hate that he was getting, he didn't let the no stop him, because he had co-created something with his higher source, and he said, I'm going after that. God said, write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. All right? And he did that. And he walked that out. Say what you will, I respect that all day. He didn't let things get in his way. And how many of you are stuck in environments? This is what I'm saying. He knew he had to leave Chicago. How many of you refuse to leave your environment and wonder why you're not making it? Because God's told you to move and you're not moving. But then you're down in the dumps about why things are not happening for you. Is the environment that you're around conducive to the vision that God gave you? Or are you waiting for somebody else? Are you waiting for the world to change? I talked about this in previous videos, but I'm saying it again because so many people are sitting around waiting. Talking about you waiting on God. I'm going to say it every video. God is waiting on you. He gave you the vision. He gave you the end destination. He gave you the coordinates. You talking about you waiting. No, you have to move. This is why I love that documentary. I'm a documentary fan in general, but I love this because most people be like, well, I can't do it, or they think somebody had a leg up, or they thought it was easy. He's showing you through this video, not only did I didn't come from much money, but I had a mother who believed in me, but I didn't come from much money, but I still pushed. I didn't have all the right people around me. I still pushed. And I let go of the people who weren't in alignment with my vision. He was strategic. He knew the people he needed to associate himself with. So most of you don't even have a strategy. What is your strategy to get you from point A to point B? Who are the people you are surrounding yourself with? You cannot have successful dreams and surround yourself with people who don't have a half of a dream. And I always say that doesn't mean there's something wrong with them or that means something bad. It just means that's the season that they're in. But if God gave you a calling in a higher season, then you have to move. You have to move. And I'm not going to, listen, there's sometimes, I like to use me where it was like, all right, I know the vision. I made it plain. But there were some things that God called me to do that I questioned, y'all. I did. I told the ladies last night, God told me to leave a relationship. Literally, I thought this was it. This is the man I was going to marry. I loved him. But God said, move. And some of you are, and I'm sharing this with you because some of you are more obedient to man than you are to God. Some of you are more obedient to your ego, to your flesh, than you are to God. And then you question why things are not moving in your life. I don't question God. He is more important to me than any man walking this earth. That doesn't mean that I didn't grieve. That didn't mean that I didn't have any sadness. Doesn't mean that. But God said move. And here's something that I understand about vision. If he's telling you to move, if he's routing you someplace different, A, is two reasons. A, it could be because, first of all, he didn't tell you that was the destination for you in the beginning. Or B, there's something greater. And right now, your focus can't be there because I need your focus here. There is a woman that needs to hear what you have to say. And if you're too tied up over here in the ego and in your flesh, you're going to ignore what's over here. How many of you are ignoring your calling because you're too stuck in your flesh and letting your flesh lead you, letting your ego lead you, letting your pride lead you? This is a question. Let me tell you something that I heard. I'm going to cut this video short today because I have crazy meetings, but I left the ladies with this last night, and when I heard this, it blew my mind. So I want to share with you today. I asked people, how many of you, and I heard this, and I want to be clear because I always give credit where credit is due. I heard this from Anthony O'Neill. I love him. He's one of the financial gurus that I follow because I'm looking into diversifying my portfolio. So I follow the greats pretty much, right? And he said, how many people know who their great-great-grandmother or grandfather know who they are? And what I found out is many people don't know. And this is not to be disrespectful. It's just to bring home a point. Because I like to say that because people be like, oh, that's disrespectful. But the reason why most people don't know who their great-great-grandmother or grandfather is because they left them no legacy and no inheritance. Period. And if you're a believer, Proverbs 13:22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So if that's what the word says, because a lot of us like to complicate vision and like to complicate God, but truly, if you read the word, it's really simple. That's why I love it. He said, write the vision and make it plain, because he truly wrote it and he made it plain for each and every one of us. So if you're a believer, how many of you have sat down and wrote out what legacy and inheritance you're going to leave for your children's children? How many of you are walking in that vision today? How many of you have wrote your vision and made it plain upon tables, aka writing it down on paper? And I love when I get confirmation, because I taught this last night to a group of women, and this morning I got on a conference call with my mentor, and literally my mentors, as a matter of fact, I call them my virtual mentors, and they were talking about the exact same thing. I love when God gives confirmation, and some of you are getting confirmation and still not being obedient. So I'm going to really charge each and every one of you to ask yourself, and I don't care your age, what inheritance, what legacy are you going to leave for your children's children? And know this, it cannot sit in your head. And I'm spiritual. That means I have a personal relationship with God. Listen, I'm not telling anybody here who you need to believe in. I'm just telling you what has gotten me to the place that I am, and that is taking me to where I'm going. I'm not telling you who your God should be. And also I want people to understand that you can learn from everything. I've read the Quran before. You know, I read different spiritual books. I want to learn. Wisdom you can get wisdom from anywhere. So I want you to take this nugget and still ask yourself, I don't care who you believe in, Buddha, Allah, tree, what inheritance or legacy are you going to leave for your children's children? Is it written down? Is it plain? Will your grandchildren know who you are? I promise you mine's going to know who I am. I promise you that. Will they know who you are? And if that's not important to you, why isn't it? And if you don't have children, let's talk about the people that you touch, your nieces, your nephews, your other family members. What legacy are you going to leave? Are you just going to leave this world and you were just a blank spot here? We all have something in us. Each and every person has greatness. I don't care who you are. You have greatness in you. But are you tuning in? Are you tapping into that greatness? Are you hoarding things? Listen, what God gave to you is not for you. It's for you. It's meant for you to put out in this world and share it. You have to let go of fear. I talked to the ladies about this last night too. Last year, I told them, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I went to Puerto Rico with my friend and his kids, and we did an excursion where, you know, we had to jump off a 15-foot cliff. And I ain't going to front. I was scared out of my mind. But I clearly heard God say in my ear, if I did not take this leap, I wouldn't take the leap into the vision that he had for me. Because it's going to be big. And I'm going to have to take many leaps. And although I was scared out of my mind, my feet felt like it was cement in it. I fastened that life vest a little tighter, and I made that leap. It was for two reasons: to show the devil you will not, and I'm talking about the negative entities, call it what you will not take me. And to show God that I believed in him, that I had faith, that if he told me that this was going to come to pass, that his word shall never return to me void. So I leaped. And I'm telling you, he hasn't stopped moving me since. I felt the fear and I did it anyway. I teach my clients this. No one ever says that fear is not going to come, but you got to feel it and do it anyway. No one ever said that grief is not going to come. We have to heal our sadness and work through our traumas with a system around us of people. If you need a therapist, by all means, I'm normalized therapy. Coaches, if it's not that deep, get you a life coach, get you some accountability partners. And let me tell you what an accountability partner is. Accountability partner is somebody who's already doing what you want to do and doing it well. It's not somebody that's in the same boat as you. Let me say that again. If you want to organize your house, please don't find another messy person talking about let's be accountability partners. It don't work that way. You find somebody who's already well organized, who has the system, and you say, hey, can you be my accountability partner? Because they're going to be able to show you how to do the system. And also, here's the thing, they're not going to confirm your BS, they're going to correct you. So many of us are looking in this season for confirmation, but not looking for correction. I always seek out a way to better my best, and that requires correction. I'm telling you guys, it's not complicated. We make it complicated. Write the vision and make it plain. Write it down. When you know the end destination, you don't have to worry about a thing if you co-created with God to what that is. Stop letting those no's stop you. I don't let nobody tell me who I am. I know who I am and whose I am. And that's a message for somebody too. So I just wanted to stop in and give you that. I love you. I hope you have the most amazing Sunday. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm life coaching with just a W, Sass, Sass, on Facebook and Instagram. I am also www.mosass.com. If you know you want to just book with me, info at Moe Sass. If you want to just email me, ask me any sort of questions, I do answer back. I'm not one of those. Email me, or if you have any questions or just want to talk something through, I am here for you. I hope you just have the most amazing Sunday. God is amazing, y'all. Let him work. Let him work in your life.